Alright, good morning and welcome back to Market Master, Roland Attenborough. If you're new here, I'm Roland Attenborough and I am the leading Gantt scientific and analytical researcher, and everything I discuss and everything I know comes from William Delbert Gantt. I own all his books and courses and have built this tool to backtest all his work. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and how we can find from the swing tops, the swing bottoms, and of course the same thing from swing bottoms to swing tops. But today we're going to be taking a look at our tops in our market around this 126. So we're going to align the tool here to 126, and we're going to make a note on where our first major low was, which was this 79 and 80. So where would we find that? Well, we would go around backwards since we're in a bear market, and you can see a conjunction at 85, but we just pushed just a bit further, another 45 degrees plus 360 makes 405 degrees, and we landed at 79 to 80. So that's our first major swing. So that's how we would use this tool to find that swing. Alright, so now that I've got your attention and you are noticing that the circle and the square is a very powerful tool, let's go ahead now and take a look at our second objective. Our second objective is when I told you not to chase after this market, and I told you not to chase it up past the 95 and 96 area. I told you to get out right around there, which is exactly what I did, and I hope that you took that advice. Next, we're going to take this tool and we're going to line up the 0 with 97, because that is pretty much the top right in there. I believe it's 97.8. So we'll just move it up almost to 98. So we've got our tool set at 98. Now we're going to go down and around one circle plus a quarter circle, which is 45 degrees on top of 360 is 405 degrees. And it's showing us that a low would come in somewhere around the 58.5 mark. Oh, okay, well, is that true? Well, let's take a look over here, and it is stating here that 62 is our low, and 62 from this 98 is exactly 360 conjunct. However, within this time frame, you can see that we've come down to as low as 57, 58. So this does capture our market here. So let's just go ahead now that we've recorded 2 moves down, let's go ahead and take a look at our next top here at 82.8, where in May, I did my video on May 4th or 5th, and I told you to sell in May and go away. And that's precisely and exactly what has occurred. So let's now go ahead and we're going to line up this 62 right, 0.8 here, or is it 62.8 here? Sorry, 60. This 82.8 right here. Okay, so 82.8. We're going to line up on our scale. So we're going to bring our 0. I'm going to bring it all the way around. Here we are, we're at 82, 0. And now we're going to look for our next maneuver down. So we've bounced off 57, and it still hasn't met my thesis for a low yet. So right now we're waiting for this market to break below 62 and continue on down from the 62 down to 50, where we are expecting to see something happen in there. But more importantly, adding the sequence from 82 plus a 45 degree angle on the 360 would bring us down, and we would be sitting somewhere around the mid 46 level. And I want to point out that our work is still pointing to this level. And the same with our Python program that I just wrote. There's about 35 modules in that one. and it's producing lows around the 50-51 level, and it's stating that we could also have some very larger pushes if we were not to stay around this 50 area here. Our Python program is signaling that we could have some lower pushes into the 40 and these low mid 30s here. So just wanted to point that out. So we're still not over. We're still in our bear market. We've been talking about this bear market for several months. We told you back in October that we felt this market was going to end because this was going to be the 17, 18, and 19 months from the halving event, and we always have a top like the last 3 campaigns, as I've shown you before. So this is how we're able to capture the tops and the bottoms. I also want to back up and just go take a look at a time frame when I pointed out to you that the bottom was coming in this market, and I have a recording that I did. Oh, let me see. I think it was May. I did that recording where it shows what the market was doing. And let's just see if we can get to that here. Just going to switch over to the weekly chart here. Let's just see what we can find from that now. So back when we were making our lows at 15,000 here, so back in the early part of May, I was stating that we were not in a bull market, we're in a bear market, and that our bottom would not come until 12, 13, and 14 months. And of course, that's exactly and precisely was this November, December, and January period. And we called that out. So I have that video still up. I'll try to post it to the end of this video so that you guys can go back and look at it. And this is how I was able to capture and find the end of the cycle here. And I'm looking to do the very same again with the next cycle bottom here, where I think that we're going to generate a low somewhere in this 40 level. And from there, that will be somewhere between the last week of September, and it will run all the way into the 3rd week of November and possibly into the 1st week of December, where we would see a low form in Bitcoin. And then of course we would have the sideways movement for a while for our distribution and accumulation cycle to be reborn again, and of course to have a new market top sometime, as I've stated, in 2029, somewhere around June, July, and August of 2029, we would be expecting a new top to be present. I thought I'd just show you this quickly just so that you get an idea of, we can forecast into the future and find tops and bottoms based on mathematical probabilities and using the tools associated with a circle and a square. I hope this has been helpful to you guys today. I wanted you to not be dissuaded by the news and the media telling you that you're in a bull market right now and whatnot. Now stocks, of course, are in a fluctuation, and they're going to be making a short-term top and then a turn down, and then of course the stocks will be turning up. And at the end of this year, stocks like the S&P 500 and the indexes will make a top in not just November, but particularly in the 1st week of December, which coincides with our bottoming pattern with Bitcoin, that the two have an inverse relationship. I thought I'd share that with you today, and if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit us up, and in the comments, I read all the comment sections, and I'm extremely busy, but I do try to get back to you. I'm still writing a book, Your Words of Power. I'm still finishing off our private predictive technology, just cleaning up our investor demo side and creating a new website for that so that we can accept subscriptions from institutions and investors alike. Also, we're still writing our program for our Bullseye coin, and we're hoping to have that, hopefully having that wrapped up within the next, I'd say 90 days, 60 to 90 days. I'll have that one hopefully rolling out and have something to show you there. Anyways, guys, peace and love. Hit me up and have a safe and amazing weekend. Peace and love.